Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vasel and Sam Healey.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here.
Sam Healey.
When I first saw Ultimate Warriorz, I was interested for a couple reasons. One, it's by Matago Games, and they make tremendous stuff. And two, it looked like King of Tokyo. I'm not saying it was King of Tokyo, it just looked like it with these huge creatures. I mean, the idea of monsters battling in an arena is something I like, even if a lot of games do it very poorly.
True.
What were your first thoughts when you saw it, before we learned how to play it?
To be honest, I was, I thought, first thing that came to my mind was gimmick. I mean, I thought it was cool looking, but I was like, if they're trying to do this, I don't know.
Well, maybe that's true. Let's take a look. The first thing you do is you build the arena. So this here is the lid of the box, which is placed like this. And then you're going to take the bottom of the box and put it together, just like you would close the box. Basically, it's closing the box upside down. But then you're going to put in between the sides of the box, you're going to put these pillars in. So you can have these pillars on the different sides like this. This doesn't really actually matter for game purposes. It's just to make it look like a cool arena. But that's how it looks. So what each player is going to do is they're going to pick a character. So when they pick a character, let's say they pick Zamoculus, or whatever his name is, each character is going to put their character in one of these spots on the board. It just can't be in the same spot as someone else. And so that there are multiple characters. Each character comes with their own set of cards and also has a certain size, so the small size gets to go first. So you're not going to play with every character, probably, but when you do take a character, you're also going to take that character's card. So here we have Zamiel, whatever his name is, and he also gets 8 battle cards. He also will come with a bunch of health tokens. In this case, he has 16 health tokens, so he'll take 16. One of those tokens is bigger than the rest. If you take Burdock the lion, you'll get 9 health. If you take Baobab the tree, you'll get 13 health. We have Jojaba, who has 6 health. We have Bonsai with 7 health. We have one of the 3 musketeers, I guess, who got left behind, Agaric. We have here some orc whose name is Cactus. That's always pleasant. And then we have Sorcho, who is a minotaur. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this card and you're going to place it in front of you. Now, there's a couple things that this card tells you. First of all, it shows your hit points to everybody. It also shows your size, which is the same as your hit points. And then it shows your defense. Now each player is going to pick a card secretly from their hand. The game takes place over 7 rounds, so you're going to play 7 of these 8 cards. So let's say I pick this card here, and I play it face down, and each other player is going to play a card face down too. So we say, okay, anyone who has played card 8, that goes first, and then 7, and then 6, and then 5, and then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, etc. So when 8 is called, if anyone has played a card, that is 8. So let's say the Minotaur player has played his 8 card. So here's his base card out here. So he gets to go first. If multiple players play the same number card, then whoever is the smaller size gets to go first. But let's say he's the only person to play an 8 card. So he plays it. He plays it on top of his other card. Now this shows you here that his defense is now no longer 3, but it is 5. Now, there's going to be 3 stats here, and you'll notice the 5's here so everyone else can see it too. Here, he must move 2 spaces. So on the board, I look where the Minotaur is. He must move 2, so maybe he goes like this, 1, 2. Actually, he'll go over here and fight the dragon. Okay? So now, he has no melee attack, so I guess he's not going to fight the dragon after all. And he has a ranged attack. A ranged attack of 2 dice. So a ranged attack means you can attack someone who's adjacent to you. So he can attack him, or him. He could even attack these guys because they're 2 spaces away. But if he does so, he's going to subtract 1 from each die. So he started here, so he's actually going to go 1, 2 like this so he can shoot the dragon. All right, so now he's going to shoot the dragon. He rolls 2 dice. He rolls them, and we look at the numbers on them. They must be equal to or higher than the dragon's defense number. So it's a 2, so it's really easy to hit. So he does 1 damage to the dragon. This one here is a miss. Now, when he does damage to the dragon, he gets the big hit point first. He did 1 point of damage. That turns into 3 victory points. After that, anytime hits the dragon, they're going to just simply get 1 victory point. So you always want to get the first hit on different creatures. Each creature also has basically some sort of special medallion thing that they have, a lucky charm. And you can use this once per game. And what that does is you can take one of the dice that was rolled against you and flip it to the other side. Or you can force your opponent to re-roll 3 of their dice. After the 8 goes, then the next one goes. So let's say the dragon is really mad at the Minotaur. So now it's his turn to go, and he plays a 3. Now this changes his defense, but he doesn't move at all, and he has a melee attack of 3, which we look is kind of wasted because there's no one in his space, but he has a ranged attack of 4. So he just rolls 4 dice against the Minotaur. Now he needs 5s or higher, and you can see all of these dice missed in this regard. So this will keep happening. There are 7 rounds of the game. Everyone's going to play a card each round. If someone loses all their life points, they're eliminated from the game. And if that happens in the first 3 rounds, then whoever eliminates them is going to take damage, because the crowd hates it when someone is eliminated early. If you're eliminated, you're out of the game, and if only one person's left, that person wins. Otherwise, after round 7, whoever has the most victory points is the winner of the game. Each player, as I said, has different cards, and you can see they all have different artwork on them. But each player has 2 cards that do special things. They're kind of like a special ability. Sometimes they allow you to attack multiple players. Sometimes they allow you to move through other people. Like, for example, this one here lets him shoot 2 dice at one person and 2 dice at another person with his ranged attack. And they have symbols on them, so you have to look up in the book what they mean. But after you play a couple times, you'll know how they work. And that is how you play Ultimate Warriors. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of comparisons between this and King of Tokyo. Because it looks like it, and in some ways feels a little bit like it. They're different games, but I think they fit in the same bucket maybe.
Yeah. They're both dice chuckers, and they're both very light, and they're very fun.
There's a couple things this game does that I really enjoyed. First of all, the card play. The card play is great. I love the idea of when you play cards, how it changes your armor. You might want to play quickly, go first, play your 8 card, or wait and play your 1 card, which is usually much more powerful. That's kind of a cool aspect.
Yeah, and that's kind of a differentiating factor between it and King of Tokyo. King of Tokyo really doesn't have a card play factor to it, which I think bumps this up a smidge. Not very much. It's still a very light game. It's still a very easy game to teach and to play. But the card play adds a little bit of a thinking factor to it that isn't there in King of Tokyo.
And I also enjoy how the game has elimination, which some people don't like, although it's not a long enough game for that to matter.
Right.
But it discourages just beating up on one player. First of all, you want to hit everybody so you get their big token. So if there's someone sitting around with not hit at all, you're like, that guy has some hit points. And also, if you eliminate someone in the first 3 turns, you're going to take some damage.
Right.
So I like that. I mean, at the same time, you do want to hit people, but it's more about getting the victory points than eliminating people. Although, if you can eliminate someone, you get to put their stand in front of you, and that counts in case of a tie.
Trophies.
Which may or may not happen, but it feels good.
Yes, it feels very good. Yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about the game. It doesn't encourage you to stand back and wait, to kind of take a defensive posture, because you want to get that big 3 points for hitting the monster first. So you want to try to go out and attack somebody, but at the same time, it doesn't warrant this all-out frontal assault. Because if you do knock somebody out, you're going to hurt yourself at the same time, just like you said. So it encourages a balance. So it is a strategic gladiator type feel to it that I thought was really interesting. Although
the board is really just kind of you're moving around on spaces. I'm either near you or away from you. It's not like this great tactical maneuvering thing.
This is a gimmick.
Well, it's a cool one.
But it is a cool gimmick, and I like how they use the box as part of the game.
The characters are different. They're not completely different, but there is a big difference between a guy who has 16 health points and a guy who has 6.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't feel like one is overpowerful.
No, it's not. I don't think so because I mean you have the smaller guys and you have the bigger guys. Smaller guys are harder to hit, so they have better armor. I'm sorry, they're harder to hit, so they have better armor. Is that what I said? I think
yes, it is what you said.
The bigger guys, they're targets, so it's easier to hit them, but they can withstand more hit points. So I think it balances out very well. I don't think there's one that is completely overpowered than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might have one that fits your playstyle. I actually like the little guy with the bigger armor because it's just harder to hit you. But at the same time, and each one has different special abilities. Some have bigger attacks than others.
Right.
Some have better armor. Some have more ranged and melee. But it's not like this. They all play similarly. They're different,
right.
But it's not like, oh, well, this one's a hard one to play. You need to be, no, you just kind of walk around and punch people.
Right.
And so I don't think you should expect anything like really in depth here, strategy-wise. But there is more than you might think. You're going to play 7 of your 8 cards. When's the best time to play each card?
Right.
So for me, this gets 2 columns in an arena way up. I really like it. Going back to King of Tokyo, I don't think this replaces King of Tokyo, but I think I would play this as often, especially since this one has more players. It goes up to 8 players, which is a really big thing.
Yeah,
and this one is just all about the fighting, which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
And you get to chuck dice and play cards. So really enjoy this one. Definitely going in my collection.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 laser-guided dragons up. And if I had another one here, okay, there's one, I don't know. There's 2 laser-guided dragons up here because it provides a
oh, he has a laser. I never realized that.
He's got a laser. This game provides, I think, a healthy alternative to King of Tokyo. Maybe you play King of Tokyo a lot, and somebody says, okay, let's just play a light, fun filler game, and you're like, man, but I just played King of Tokyo yesterday. Pull out Ultimate Warriorz. It has really the same level to it, the same vibe to it of, just knocking each other around, getting points and that type of thing. But it provides a little bit of a different flavor. More of a gladiator type rather than a sci-fi movie-ish type thing. So this is a great game. I was pleasantly surprised by the gimmickry because it actually made the game really neat.
Oh yeah, amazing artwork too.
Yeah.
Amazing artwork. Every card is different, and I like that a lot. Alrighty, well there you go. Go out and get it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.